Where are you going to find the best rides during your next Florida vacation? Is it going to be Universal's Trinity of theme parks or Disney World's quadruple park action? We are layering out the cold hard facts to once and for all find the answers for Orlando's trickiest question. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Now today we're tackling an important quandary. Which theme park, Universal Orlando or Disney World, has the best rides? Loaded question, right? Because there are a lot of ride types between these two. So we're going to break down today's video into 5 categories. You've got water rides, roller coasters, dark rides, flat rides, and screen-based rides. Now each category is going to have an ultimate winner, and by the end, whoever wins the most categories is going to win it all. Are you ready for this adventure with me? Why did I say adventure like that? I don't know. We're going to start with the water rides. Water rides aren't just the slow-going boats that might give you little accidental splashes along the way. These are also the rides with one goal in mind, and that is to get you absolutely bathtub drenched. In Disney World, you got 2 of these. Tiana's Bayou Adventure in Magic Kingdom and Kali River Rapids in Animal Kingdom. Kali River Rapids, not going to sugarcoat it, is probably the ride I feel least passionate about in this particular category. It's an easygoing family raft ride that's fairly short and might have you walking around with soggy britches afterwards, but there have been several times that our DFB team members have come out of this one fairly unscathed, and hey, that might be totally cool for you if getting absolutely soaked is not on your itinerary for the day. But ultimately, I think the biggest player Disney's got in this round is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. But let's see who she's going up against. At Universal Studios Florida, things are looking a little dry, so we'll just skip over that park for now. But Islands of Adventure, you got Toon Lagoon. This is a whole cartoony land dedicated to water rides like Popeye and Bluto's Bilge Rat barges, and Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. Then you go over to the Jurassic Park area. You've got another water ride, Jurassic Park River Adventure. Then you hop over to the new Epic Universe Park, and there's Fire Drill inside Isle of Berk. Of course, ride quantity never outweighs ride quality, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure does provide quality music, effects, thrills, animatronics, when they're working, of course, and that IP. But y'all, the quality of Universal's water rides, they've got some really good stuff going on. None of them have the level of state-of-the-art animatronics like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but what they will give you is a whole lot of laughs and a good old soaking. Kali River Rapids pales in comparison to Popeye and Bluto's family raft ride. Between Popeye's intense rapids, multiple waterfalls, surprise water features, and 7-minute duration compared to Kali's 4-minute ride through, the chances of you walking out of this one and not feeling like your clothes have gotten 5 pounds heavier due to all the water they've soaked up are very, very slim. Ripsaw Falls is probably the closest ride comparison that Universal has to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, since both of these are log flumes with a fairly steep drop as the finale. Again, Tiana's Bayou Adventure has those stunning animatronics and updated features, not to mention log flumes at Tiana's are way easier to get in and out of. Ripsaw Falls can be an embarrassing nightmare on its best days, where more than likely your legs are going to be up in another stranger's business all ride long. That being said, Ripsaw Falls has more of the thrill factor going for it. The drop for this one's going to send you plummeting 75 feet versus 50 feet on Tiana. And yes, you really can feel the difference deep down in your stomach. But perhaps Tiana's could also be compared to Jurassic Park River Adventure, since this attraction does have more animatronics featured throughout. Do these animatronics need a little TLC? Yes. And is your kiddo more than likely going to walk away from this one more traumatized by the dinos threatening to eat them than Tiana's Critter Band who just wants to play a little Mardi Gras jig? Absolutely. But if you're looking for a smidgen of danger to go along with your water ride experience, and Jurassic Park's middle name is Danger, so welcome aboard. Then there's Fire Drill, which plays to the beat of its own drum. There's not really anything we can compare it to in Disney World. Now, I've seen water ride styles similar to this setup before. Basically, you're on a boat and you're going to use the water squirters in front of you to drench folks and other boats passing by. It's cute and it's a lot of fun for kids, but it's not necessarily going to be the sole reason Universal wins the water park category. However, it is part of the reason. Due to the variety of water rides, the amount of soakage you're going to get on each, and the overall quality of these attractions too, Universal Orlando is absolutely winning this first round. There's just too much fun to be had on these water rides to skip it. So, Universal 1, Disney 0. Now, if you're planning on going to Epic Universe this year, or you're starting to save for an Epic Universe trip next year, maybe when the crowds are a little less intense, now that we've stepped foot into Epic Universe ourselves, we've updated our free Ultimate Guide so that you'll know everything there is to know about this brand new park's rides and food offerings and shows and shops and additional entertainment before you go. Because you know what? Once the park actually opened, things changed a little bit, and they'll continue to do so. Just scan the QR code you see on the screen now, or if you're watching today's video on your phone, head to disneyfoodblog.com/epic. After this, we're going to send you that free guide. Now, no matter what the ultimate outcome is for this entire video, there's going to be some of y'all who only care about who wins this particular roller coaster category. Now, if you are a roller coaster junkie, please let me know in the comments the biggest, fastest, most intense coaster you've ever been on, even if it's not in Disney or Universal, because it's probably not. Disney World has its fair share of fun coasters, though. You're going to find coasters that launch forwards and send riders backwards, have sections of near to complete darkness, take you around sharp corners and bunny hills, but these coasters definitely have more of a family-friendly vibe to them. The most intense coaster you're probably going to find on the Disney scene is Rock 'n' Roller Coaster, which will be closing for an extended refurb in the near future in preparation for its Muppets takeover. Rock 'n' Roller Coaster is an indoor attraction. It launches riders 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds, immediately speeding you down a dark drop and then taking you on a near pitch black ride, save for the light up signs you're going to come across along the way, on a track that features 3 inversions, 2 rollover loops, and 1 corkscrew. The second most intense coaster you'll probably encounter during your Disney visit is Animal Kingdom's one and only coaster, Expedition Everest. A ride that takes you up in the mountains where you'll come face to face with a Yeti who's so not looking to make friends with you, but will instead tear up your track and send you speeding backwards into the dark. And as you're getting ready for the ride's conclusion, you're going to drop down the mountain and go speeding past the Yeti herself. Even Disney's newer coasters, like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in Epcot and Tron Light Cycle Run in Magic Kingdom, might feature thrilling elements, but they're not exactly overly intense. Instead, they're smooth, they're immersive, and they're great coasters for even those who are less than thrilled with back-to-back thrills. Yet when it comes to Universal Orlando's lineup of coasters, y'all, they are not pulling punches. These parks are where you're going to find the true adrenaline rush level of thrills in Orlando. Universal does a good job of providing all different types of coasters. You got the indoor ones that are a little more intense but not overly so, like Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts in Universal Studios Florida. You've got the innovative ones where the tracks are unpredictable but add to the overall immersion and help tell the story, like Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure in Islands of Adventure. You got the junior coasters for younger riders who are just testing the thrill ride waters, like the Troller Coaster in Universal Studios Florida. And you got the new coasters that are a level up from the junior coasters, giving older kids new thrills but still being family friendly, like Hiccup Swing Gliders at Epic Universe. And of course, you've got the absolute beasts of the roller coaster kingdom, like the Incredible Hulk Coaster, Velocicoaster, and the brand new Stardust Racers, where you'll need to be prepared to leave your heart and your stomach and your head back at the loading dock. While Disney's coasters do a great job of telling a story with innovative effects and moderate thrills that most of the family can enjoy, Universal is getting better and better at leveling up their storytelling while still keeping the adrenaline pumping and featuring a mix of family-friendly options for up-and-coming thrill enthusiasts too. So scores, Universal 2, Disney still 0. Okay, much like the coaster category, there'll be folks out there watching this video who'll be most passionate about finding out who wins the dark ride category, and for good reason. Dark rides are indoor experiences that take you through multiple show scenes, which reveal a story through animatronics and sets and special effects. Typically, they're more slow going, but they can surprise us with a few thrills along the way, especially when it comes to those newer dark rides entering the scene. So, dark rides are Disney's wheelhouse, and they've been Disney's wheelhouse ever since Disneyland was built out in California in 1955. Disney's been able to do a lot with their dark rides over the years. Some retell the story of our favorite Disney animated films, giving us the chance to step into them as a new protagonist. Peter Pan's Flight over in Magic Kingdom is a good example of this one. This is a dark ride that's truly stood the test of time, giving us the chance to fly over London and be transported into Neverland. Other Disney dark rides tell original stories, giving us the chance to be part of new experiences and learn about new characters and feel more tempted to re-ride these attractions again, just so you can learn more of the unraveling tale through that ride experience. Haunted Mansion is another solid dark ride in the Magic Kingdom with its own chilling story that I still learn something new about each time I ride. Disney also has dark rides that do a little bit of both, featuring iconic Disney characters that play out new stories like you'll see on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in Hollywood Studios, which is a trackless dark ride. And how about the dark rides that combine education and entertainment, edutainment, so you can learn a little something along with your dark ride experience? Spaceship Earth and Epcot, one of my favorite examples since it explores the development of communication over the years while also featuring several animatronics and stunning backdrops in every show scene. Then there are the dark rides that really like to show off what Disney can do, like Rise of the Resistance over in Hollywood Studios. Believe it or not, this is a dark ride. Turns a classic one into a multi-layer experience. One might also argue that Tower of Terror over in Hollywood Studios is technically a dark ride in more than one way. While Tower is a drop tower attraction, it also has dark ride elements where your vehicle moves itself from its elevator shaft and goes down a flat path past storytelling elements, then realigns into a new elevator shaft, which is where the thrills actually happen. So Universal has some dark rides, but these parks definitely hone in on the thrill aspect of things instead of the slow-going storytelling aspect. This is best seen on their dark rides like Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey over in Islands of Adventure and Monsters Unchained in Epic Universe. Both of these rides are not your typical dark ride experiences. They are dark rides at their core, though. They're indoors, they tell a story, and they do so through some really awesome effects. But don't go in expecting to sit in a slow-going Omnimover pod and have your heart rate resting at a nice, calm, and cool level. Both of these dark rides use robotic arm technology that stimulates the feeling of flying and falling and flailing. These are, quite honestly, some of the coolest rides we've ever been on, though I do have to take my anti-nausea meds sometimes before getting on them. Again, this thrill aspect might be more of a win for some of y'all who are focused on that side of things, but for those out there who have younger kids who can't or don't enjoy the bigger thrills, or for the family members who get relatively queasy on more intense rides, or for older family members that just can't handle those major adrenaline rushes anymore, I get it. Disney's back-to-back dark rides still provide ample amounts of entertainment for everybody, instead of just a select few. Universal does have a couple slow-going dark rides in their ride mix, like the E.T. Adventure Dark Ride in Universal Studios Florida, which is my favorite Universal Studios ride of all time. That one's trippy, but a planet filled with lots of baby ETs is like a dream come true. There's also the Cat in the Hat Dark Ride at Islands of Adventure, which is, it's a choice. All in all, Disney's got to win this category for its all-ages versatility and ability to tell a greater variety of stories through multiple dark ride experiences. So, scores stand right now at Universal 2 and Disney 1. Okay, before we get too deep into this category, we need to determine what exactly a flat ride is, because this can be a very open-ended definition if we're not careful. Kind of similar to dark rides, right? A flat ride is a type of attraction that usually spins or swings or tilts or rotates riders in various patterns. This includes rides like teacups or swinging pendulums, carousels, and other swirly-twirly rides in that same realm. Disney's pretty big on the carousel-style flat rides, especially the aerial carousels. In Magic Kingdom alone, you're going to find 3 of them: Magic Carpets of Aladdin, Dumbo, and Astro Orbiter, as well as a classic Ride a Little Pony style carousel behind Cinderella Castle called Prince Charming Regal Carousel. Magic Kingdom is also the home of Mad Tea Party, a classic teacup spinning ride, probably the most famous one out there. In Hollywood Studios, you got a new style flat ride with alien swirling saucers, which is a whip ride that'll literally whip you around side to side as it circles its way around the embedded tracks. And unfortunately, Animal Kingdom is currently carousel-less since Disney pulverized Triceratops Spin at the start of 2025 to make way for the new Tropical Americas section of the park coming later in 2027. But Disney's promised that a new carousel is going to be built in this land, sculpted by a local wood carver, with little Disney animal characters featured around the ride. If it weren't for Epic Universe, Disney wouldn't have had a whole lot of extra competition to worry about in this flat ride category, because all they really had before Epic was like Kong and Kodos, Twirl and Hurl in Universal Studios Florida, and Storm Force Acceleration in Islands of Adventure, which is their version of the teacups. But without Epic Universe, I think Seuss Landing's Carousel and One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish flat rides would have probably been Disney's biggest competitors. Even then, still gonna pick a flying Disney elephant over a flying Universal fish. But now we've come to Epic Universe, which has brought some fresh flat rides into the battle arena. The Constellation Carousel in Celestial Park takes a spin, no pun intended, on classic carousel rides and transforms this one into an intergalactic, colorful, star-shining centerpiece surrounded by stained glass windows, and basically just giving you a different ride every single time because of how it's set up. And just to give you more of a thrill factor, since there haven't been a lot of those featured in today's flat ride category, Dragon Racers Rally over in Isle of Burke is indeed a flat ride. There, you're going to get to train to be a champion dragon racer. On this attraction, you can show off aerobatic maneuvers and high-speed barrel rolls while reaching heights of up to 67 feet in the air. So yes, this does mean you'll be spinning upside down if you want to. When it comes to the spinning of your own dragon, dude, you have the freedom to make this ride mild or wild, whatever you want. Now, it's a tough choice, really it is, because I think the win here could easily go either way. But for now, I think we're going to stick with Disney. Dumbo is a classic with a really cool big top queue for kids to play in. Astro Orbiter gives riders an impressive bird's eye view across Magic Kingdom. Prince Charming Regal Carousel has that intricate, ornate charm, and Magic Carpets of Aladdin it's okay. But it's the novelty of riding on your very own magic carpet, just like from the movie. That'll be the biggest selling point for this one. Alien Swirling Saucers is colorful and quirky and features fun techno soundtracks, and that Tea Party is a classic. That said, Dragon Racers Rally, my very favorite ride in all of Epic Universe, very, very close competition. But let's give this one to Disney. Universal 2, Disney 2. Okay, we are at a tie now, and the screen rides category is going to be our tiebreaker. Not going to lie to you, I think this was the hardest category to come up with a winner for. While many rides feature screen technology nowadays, we're going to try to keep this category focused on the rides where the main aspect is the screen. In Disney World, you'll find a nice variety of screen-based experiences. One of my favorite ways that Disney uses screens in their ride systems is through their flying theater attractions like Soarin' Around the World and Epcot and Flight of Passage and Animal Kingdom. Along with these massive screens that'll take you flying over impressive landscapes, Disney also uses 4D features to further enhance your experience. This is especially prominent at Flight of Passage, where the mixture of 3D effects and scents and vibrations and movements that are triggered by your motorcycle-style seating makes you really feel like you're riding on the back of your own Banshee, whatever that means. But Soarin' can be more popular with folks simply because it's a lot calmer and doesn't rely on 3D glasses and effects to pull off that sensation of flying. You're literally way up there. Mission Space and Epcot and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run in Hollywood Studios also don't use any 3D effects on their screen-based ride setup, but that by no means equals a relaxing ride. I'd argue that Mission Space is even more intense than Rock 'n' Roller Coaster due to its extreme spinning nature, though you can always choose the less intense green mission over the orange mission if you're not interested in all those G-forces. Smuggler's Run and Mission Space not only give you a screen-based ride that takes you across the galaxy, but they also give you a role that you'll need to fulfill during your ride-through. Whether or not you fulfill that role during Mission Space won't matter too terribly much to the storyline, but it will matter during your experience on Smuggler's Run. Similar to Smuggler's, Toy Story Mania, also in Hollywood Studios, puts the power of your ride-through in your hands thanks to your little toy blaster. You're going to be able to compete in a series of mini carnival-style games to compete for the best score in the vehicle. Hollywood Studios is also home to Star Tours, a 3D screen ride where the lands and characters you encounter are different every single time you become a passenger. And let's not forget Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Epcot, a trackless 3D dark ride that namely uses screens, but also features a few practical sets along your journey too. Now, Universal is notorious for its screen rides. Between all three of the parks, you're going to find a whole slew of them. The problem with the bulk of these is that so many of them follow a similar formula, so it feels very much like you're riding the same ride that you might have experienced earlier that day, just with a different theme and story attached to it. I think this is best represented throughout Universal Studios Florida. Minions Mayhem, you sit on a bench seat and watch the 3D gags play out. Jimmy Fallon's Race Through New York, you sit on a bench seat and watch the 3D gags play out. The Simpsons ride, you sit on a bench, possibly get lifted a little higher in your ride vehicle, and watch the 3D gags play out. Now, this isn't fair to say about all of Universal's screen rides, because there are still several of them that'll provide you with a unique experience. Villain Con Minion Blast in Universal Studios Florida is truly one of a kind, since it's an attraction you'll actually stand on throughout the duration of the experience, blasting targets and racking up a score that'll be saved onto your Universal app. That way you can unlock new abilities and missions each time you go. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge in Epic Universe also gives you the chance to compete while living out a real live Mario Kart racing scenario, just like those fan favorite video games you probably have back home that have been the subject of many sibling fights over the years. Skull Island, Reign of Kong over in Islands of Adventure might have a very similar setup to Fast and Furious Supercharged over in Universal Studios Florida. We don't talk about that one. But you've got to admit that King Kong animatronic at the very end, one of the coolest animatronics ever. Plus the brand new Wizarding World ride over in Epic Universe, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry has been a popular favorite for many folks who've been able to visit this park so far. In fact, there's been 300-minute waits. And yes, the majority of this ride uses screen-based technology, but along with those screens, you're also getting practical effects and a really epic queue. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man over in Islands of Adventure, fan favorite screen ride before the Battle of the Ministry showed up, and despite the fact that Universal used an almost identical feeling 3D ride format when building Transformers The Ride in Universal Studios Florida, Spider-Man still holds up even after all this time. And hey, even if the Universal screen rides give you a sense of deja vu, that doesn't make them any less fun if you're a fan of these style ride systems. After all, they're able to provide more mild thrills without the upside-down action and high-speed coaster launches, but they could still make you a little queasy in the end. But as shocking as it may seem, I still think we gotta hand Disney the win here. When you ride a Disney screen ride, you don't jump off feeling like you've received the exact same gift, just in different packaging. Every Disney screen-based attraction has its own personality and unique ride system that makes it stand out from all the rest. And even just Flight of Passage alone is fascinating and truly impressive. So final score here, although it's very close, is Universal 2, Disney 3. Now, before any of you Universal fans walk away steamed, let's review. Disney took over the lead at the very end, but a big reason for its victory is due to the fact that Disney's rides are ultimately a better fit for more people. When you plan a Disney vacation, you don't have to overly stress that there'll be too many rides certain folks in your group can't ride. Between the dark rides, family-friendly coasters, and all-ages attractions, Disney's ability to be flexible for families while still telling solid stories and providing one-of-a-kind entertainment is very hard to beat. However, Disney can't get too comfortable with this victory because when it comes to heart-pumping, jaw-dropping thrills, Universal continues to come out on top every single time. And now that Epic Universe is part of the conversation, we're really getting the chance to see Universal's creative side compete with Disney in a way it's never done before. Between those realistic monster animatronics, track jumping layouts, shout out to Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, and stunning new ride features, Universal is not walking away from this competition defeated. This is the back and forth that Universal and Disney have always had with one another, competing to stay relevant and innovative and compelling for future guests. So I guess the real winner here is us, because we get to go and ride all this stuff. If you love ride competitions like this, I got great news. We've actually got a Disney World Ride Bracket series we've recently released on the channel that you can watch right now to find the best ride in every single park. Or if you're not done delving into the Epic Universe discourse, be sure to pick up the free Epic Universe guide I told you about early over at disneyfoodblog.com/epic. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.